know why I feel this way. Every day I wanna run away. I think I'll go back to that place I stay. Play on the server the TimeShot way.
Hello, people. It's Poet. We're back on TimeShot. Just kind of looking around the spawn area. Dave's still been working on it quite a bit. He made this pathway down here. I don't really know why he did that. But it's almost as though he had read my mind, because no sooner had I recorded the episode saying that we should change the bottom of this to look kind of more like it does over here, where Fabe built kind of an under the bridge. What do you call this? It's just a wall, I guess. No sooner had I made that recording, that suggestion to myself, but I log in and it looks like this. And the bridge now looks like this, and that looks really cool underneath. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know why this pathway goes down under here. Maybe he's under the assumption that this will eventually be torn up, possibly. I don't know. I don't really know. But what also has been changed is almost like my other suggestion where I said, let's make a pathway coming out this way, and then it can go this way. Well, instead of going out this way from here, we went down, and kind of made an intersection here. No signage yet, but I imagine that soon there will be signage just telling you what's down that way. You can see some signage right here, for example, to the Hall of Heroes and the docks. So you go this way, around this way, and then there could be like a sign right here, for example, sitting right here. That would say like Hall of Heroes this way, or maybe a sign right here that would say like Hall of Heroes this way. And also myself, like my base is also this way too. So the pathway obviously isn't 100% finished here. But what I did, and I don't know if I even really like this. I don't know yet. But I've broken apart the old pathway here quite a bit, and even made a big explosion. And I patched it up the best I could. But that is how it is. It's all like eaten away, torn away, like an old pathway that fell to ruin. And then I kind of continued, not exactly the same kind of pathway as what Dave was building over there, but similar in style, where I've put these cobble pieces and some oak leaves and some random pieces of fence, which probably should have torches on them, and then like I should get rid of all the torches in the pathway and just resort to putting them on top of the little fence posts like that. Right? Eventually. So it's looking pretty cool though, with just this little tiny bit of an upgrade, if you can call it an upgrade. A little bit of a change. And then I went even further. I'm kind of just updating you guys on what I've been working on, but I went even further, and I've gone nuts with the leaves. You can see in my inventory, I've got quite a few leaves. Oh yeah, I'm in my Code's Ambush skin for absolutely no reason. I don't know why I am. I just am. It's not like Code live streamed and you missed it or anything like that. I wanted to wear it. That's all there is to it. But anyway, updating you guys on what I've been working on. I started putting leaves along the sides of the walls, and I think that this looks absolutely incredibly cool. I'm going to take a step back before you guys really see it. I'm going to grab some ender pearls so I can do that. I'm running low though. I got to get more ender pearls. So let's go this way. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Oh, okay. All right. So, I wish it wasn't raining. But you can see amongst the rain kind of how cool it looks with the vines that go all the way down from up there down and then over the dirt. And it looks pretty cool, and some leaves down there and so on. And I've continued that pattern, that theme, not really a pattern, all the way around. So I think it looks like everything. Dave logged in at one point, and he said to me, he came over here and he looked up and he said, everything looks better with leaves. And I don't know why, but this just does. I just think that this looks so much better just with leaves. I've curled them around to around here a little bit, around here a little bit. And I did continue. I took out all the vines that were hanging off the walls inside here. And what I'll probably end up doing is then continuing with leaves and put leaf vines around. But if I go over to the other side here, you can see that I've actually started doing it on the other sides as well. Keep moving. Keep bouncing. So you can see that it goes all the way around. I've done this leaf theme. And I don't so much look at them as being vines for some reason. I just look at them as being like overgrown foliage of some kind. I guess it would be kind of like vines. But like there are places, especially over in that direction, and I think over in this direction too, where I've kind of like pulled them down from the trees. Like if I had a tree like this, for example, I would pull the vines from the leaves and then like connect them into the builds. So maybe these giant trees have like leaves that come down. I don't know. I don't know how it's supposed to look, but this is basically as far as I got. I went to about here. I'm trying not to sneeze. I have to sneeze so bad. I went to about here, and then I just stopped. So this is the last wall that I have to do, and I thought that I would do that on camera. Since it's kind of a menial task, I do have something to talk about, and I've been meaning to talk about it for like, God, I don't know. It's been like so many episodes now. I think I started considering talking about it around 170, episode 170, 169, 170. I wanted to talk about this, and it's just now that I'm getting around to talking about it. And it's something that people ask me quite a bit, or a problem that I see a lot of people have quite a bit, where they are put into uncomfortable situations or have to do uncomfortable things in life that they may not enjoy doing. And the question arises, you know, how do they do it, or should they do it? And a lot of people, of course, having the issue where when they're uncomfortable doing something, they never do it. You know, never do anything that you're uncomfortable doing. And in fact, a lot of people encourage that kind of statement, you know. If you're not comfortable doing it, then don't do it. But I think that's that holds people back quite a bit. Now, although there are obviously certain things where if you're not comfortable, then you really shouldn't do it. It's being uncomfortable with something is also a very big warning indicator that something isn't right. But sometimes our brains trick us into thinking that something's uncomfortable, when in reality, it's not that we're uncomfortable doing it, it's just that we haven't learned how to be comfortable doing it yet. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today, in a nutshell. I think it's kind of an interesting topic because people often ask questions like, you know, what was it that really hinged your thought that you would become a professional YouTuber and quit your job, and you know what gave you the courage to do that? because clearly that's not a very comfortable thing for me to do. I was very comfortable with the job that I had. These chickens. The chickens like live inside of these fence posts and they can't move. They're like stuck there. So I have to like run around and kill them. I found like 7 chickens all stuck in these fence posts. Don't get it. But anyway, I was very comfortable with where I worked. And I would have been comfortable there still. I mean, I'd probably still be working there now. And to be honest with you, yeah, I probably would have been very comfortable there. But would I have enjoyed doing it? Would I liked doing it, you know? Sometimes the things you're comfortable doing aren't the things that you really enjoy doing. So you also have to keep that in mind when you're thinking about what you do in life, what you have ahead of you. If you're too comfortable, it can sometimes become monotonous. And I think that's part of one of the biggest things, one of the biggest reasons I actually ended up leaving that job is because I found that the work that I was doing was just not exciting to me anymore. It wasn't something that I enjoyed doing anymore. For myself. Get me up here. There we go. It wasn't something that I liked doing. You know, working on other people's projects and things is not something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So in order to do YouTube full time, I had to do something that I was incredibly uncomfortable doing. And that was taking a risk, quitting my job, and leaving that comfort for something that it was basically an unknown. So yeah, it can be pretty scary doing things that are uncomfortable to you, but it can definitely have benefits. So one of the biggest reasons that a person is uncomfortable doing a certain thing isn't so much because it's bad for them, but because they aren't very good at doing that thing. And so if you're not that good at doing something, you're not going to want to keep doing it, right? You're not going to want to even try doing it. But every good thing in life comes with practice, right? Everything we do, even speech, you know, humans are born with a certain level of, I think, cognitive ability where we could figure out linguistics of some kind. I feel that we are born with this ability to some extent. But I'm thinking, oops, I kind of want to go across here. I'm thinking that, you know, you got to learn how to do these things. You got to learn, you got to apply yourself. And if you don't learn, you'll never be comfortable doing it. I just got to get up here. There we go. So, you know, we're uncomfortable doing certain things because we're inexperienced doing these things. We're unqualified to do them. Or maybe we feel that we're inadequate or incapable or incompetent or something like that. That we don't have this ability and therefore I'm not comfortable doing it, so I just won't. You know? One of the biggest things is definitely like talking in front of a crowd or talking to an audience. And I have to admit to everybody out there, it doesn't sound like it now. You would never, ever know it. But there was a time for a little while where, yeah, I was kind of uncomfortable talking to people. And I'm obviously not uncomfortable talking to people now. So how did I get over that? And it's just something that I had to learn how to do. I had to go out there and do it. Talk in front of people. Talk to you guys. And once I did it, once it got easier. Twice, it got easier. 3 times easier, and so on and so forth, until it was just second nature. Now I can talk on YouTube for days at a time if you'd let me, and I'd be completely not only comfortable doing it, but really, really enjoy doing it. So it's all just a matter of doing something, trying something, and learning how to do it. You know, I had to learn how to say certain things and in what way to say them, and how to not get hung up on different things, although I always get hung up on different things. You know, I don't have a very big attention span, even for what I'm talking about. It's sad, it's true, but it's what happens to me. I get distracted oh so easily. And I find that doing this, talking to you guys, it sort of helps. I was very uncomfortable talking to you guys. One of the biggest reasons is because I thought that, you know what, I'm going to get hung up on what I say, and I'm going to embarrass myself. Nobody's going to like me. Why would they want to watch my videos? But I found that the more I did it, and the more that I enjoyed it, the more comfortable I became doing it, the more comfortable people were in accepting me for who I was. And there's one of the biggest key points that I wanted to make, is that, you know, the more comfortable you are, the more comfortable people will be around you and watching you. So, you know, a lot of people ask me, you know, what's a tip to becoming a YouTuber? And I often say, and a lot of people say, just be yourself. Be yourself. Do what you want to do and what makes you feel right. But what if there isn't very much that makes you feel comfortable? That's something that you've got to learn. You've got to become comfortable in doing those things. Sometimes it doesn't come naturally. That's a fact. It's an unfortunate fact. Sometimes it just doesn't come naturally. And nobody's to blame. You're not to blame. You know, some people are natural born YouTube talent, or talented in whatever field we're talking about here, right? Not just YouTube, but in anything that requires a comfort level. Some people are naturally born gifted like that, but not everybody. So you got to practice. You've got to learn how to become comfortable doing it. And once you've learned how to do that thing, then, hey, you'll see people will actually latch on to that. People will enjoy watching you do your thing because they'll see how comfortable you are. And it's weird. I can't really explain it too well, but to say that human beings are generally empathetic to each other. That means basically, if I see someone happy or acting happy in a video, for example, let's use a video again. If I see someone happy, the first thought I'm going to have is not of anger. It's not of hatred or sadness or anything like that. I'm immediately going to have thoughts of happiness myself. And if I'm just a bitter person, then maybe not. But I'm going to have thoughts of happiness myself. And from that point, it's so much easier to watch and enjoy the video. And same thing, if I see someone comfortable, then I'm going to feel comfortable. So it's this kind of a, I don't know what you would call that kind of effect. That effect is like a, I don't know what you would even say that it is. But basically, it's like people, what's the right word? It's not reiterative, but what is the right word? If someone feels a certain thing, other people will start to have like a domino effect. That's kind of the right word. A domino effect will happen, and you're going to be confident and comfortable. Confidence and comfortability are kind of, they go hand in hand. So when I say comfort level, your comfort level in something, I'm definitely also talking a lot about your confidence level. Because just like I was saying, if you're not comfortable with something, if you're uncomfortable with something, then chances are that, you know, you're not confident in yourself either. So I think this is looking pretty good right now. I just want to kind of, let's go back and look at it. But yeah, this kind of made me want to start talking about it because a lot of people are asking me, you know, how do I become a YouTuber? What is one of the biggest tips? And I always say, be yourself. But, you know, when I started doing YouTube video, I don't think I was this comfortable doing it. You know, it's something that I had to learn. And that's what I wanted to try to explain to the best of my abilities, that, you know, sometimes you just have to learn how to behave. You have to learn how to act and how to be comfortable doing stuff like this on YouTube, for example. There we go. Just put a little bit of leaves over top. I don't think that I'll eventually wrap them over and then go down. I think I'll just start, if I'm to do this side, the interior as well, I'm just going to do the interior on its own. But how does one do that? And this is what, like, I have always said. I start recording a video, and I don't plan what I'm going to say. I kind of know what I was going to say. I knew that I wanted to talk about being comfortable in being uncomfortable. So yeah, you got to be comfortable in being uncomfortable. I am very comfortable when it comes to being uncomfortable. So when I'm put into a situation where I might not be used to it, I actually thrive on that. And that's something that I've had to learn how to do. It's not like that's my natural desire. If I'm put into an uncomfortable situation, I'm like any human being, and I'm going to feel uncomfortable, and I'm not going to like doing it. But I've trained my brain, I've trained myself, where if someone puts me into an uncomfortable situation, for whatever purpose, for whatever reason, however it comes to be, I actually start to enjoy it. I try to enjoy it, at least. I do my best to enjoy it. I do my best to do my best with it. And I actually make that sort of a fun task for myself, you know? If I'm put into a situation where I don't know what's going to happen next, I don't let that scare me. I let that drive me to do better, to learn better. Huh? Skeleton? Skeleton? I hear a skelly. I don't know where he might be. Oh, there he is. What? Hey. I lost my bow. This is something that really upsets me. I lost my bow. And I don't know where I've put it. Maybe someone in a video will recognize where I've put it, but I can't remember for the life of me. Maybe it broke. I mean, that's always a possibility, but I don't think it was close to being broken. I think I just put it down somewhere, and I can't remember where. I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached. So anyway, I'm going to maybe start doing the interior here while we are still talking. But yeah, people ask, well then, you know, how do I become comfortable in doing something that I'm uncomfortable doing? And my only advice, unfortunately, like I said, I never know what I'm going to talk about, and I really don't know the best answer of how I did it. It was something that I had to learn, and that's the best way I can explain it. You know, I was never comfortable doing these things in the past. I had to learn how to put myself in those situations by doing it. You know, like I said at the beginning, when you start doing videos, after the first one, it gets easier and then easier and then easier. And I think the same thing happens with putting yourself into these moments of uncomfortability where you're not comfortable doing something. The more you do that thing, though, the easier it'll ultimately be. Let's go from up about there, maybe. And then I'll go up here. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. I'm actually going through quite a bit of these leaves, but not really complaining about it, to be honest with you. There we go. Why not wrap down like that? In fact, I can go up like that too. Kind of like that. There we go. So all I can suggest to you is to just keep trying. Keep trying. If you're not comfortable doing YouTube videos, but you know that it's your passion, that you would love to be able to, if only you were comfortable doing it, then that's something that you have to keep trying to do. Same with confidence. If you don't have confidence in yourself, you think that you're a failure, you don't think you can do something, if you keep trying, you'll be really good at it. You know, you'll be very good. I mean, I don't know anybody who plays guitar, who learns how to play guitar, for example, for say 10 years. They've been trying to play guitar. I don't know anybody who after 10 years of trying to learn, of making an effort, wouldn't at least be semi-decent playing it. To be able to play it at a level that they are happy with. Because, I mean, ultimately, that's the goal, right? Is not to make other people happy, necessarily. Obviously, that's a nice thing if you can do that. I like making other people happy. But you got to make yourself happy above and beyond anyone else. Definitely. Let's see, that looks pretty good. I like that it went from the top part, and I didn't do that anywhere else. Sort of regretting that. So I kind of want to go... Uh-oh. Come on. There we go. Let's see. Whoops! Oh... You know what? I just got to get some blocks and pillar up. It'll be easier. So if you can do something, that you're uncomfortable with and become comfortable in doing it to the point where you are happy with the result, that in itself is basically the goal, isn't it? I mean, maybe I don't do YouTube videos as good as a lot of other people, right? I'd be the first to admit it. But I'm happy with the way that I do the videos. And if I'm happy with the way I do the videos, then really that's all that matters to me. I don't really care if Sky Does Minecraft does better videos than me. I honestly could care less. All I want is to do the videos to the best of my ability and be comfortable in the way that I do them. And I am. So it's all just a matter of learning. Learning. How do I become confident in myself? You know, a person could easily say, well, you got to believe in yourself. What does that even mean? And what I think that means in believing in myself is that I have reached my own goal. I've believed in myself to the point where I'm happy with what I'm putting out for myself. You know, the videos I make me happy. And therefore, I believe in myself in that I know that I can make videos that I'm happy with for me. It's hard to put it into other words than that. And I know that I'm not the best at doing the word things with my brains. But it's just like, let's go back to the guitar thing. You know, if you want to be the next Jimi Hendrix or Jimmy Page or something like that, and you're not happy with just playing a guitar, and you're just not learning. You've tried, and you're just not doing it. I mean, it's probably time then to find that part of yourself that's being uncomfortable, because clearly there is a part that's being uncomfortable, and moving on. You know, if it's maybe learn a different technique, maybe go to a different tutor, maybe get a different guitar. You know, what in your life is giving you that uncomfortable feeling? Or rather, what are you comfortable with in life that becoming uncomfortable with something might help improve things? Huh? I mean, there's that too that I'm just thinking about. You know, if you're too comfortable and you're not seeing the results that you thought you should be seeing, maybe the answer is that you're becoming too comfortable. And it's time to change things up a little bit. So there's that too. So a lot of benefit, I think, can come from being uncomfortable in certain situations. There we go. Just like that. Looks all right. Whoop. Looks all right. Looks okay. Don't really want to attach the different segments necessarily. But it kind of looks odd if they're separated like that too much too. So I'm just going to see about tying these together maybe. Okay. Just like that. Oh yeah, that looks better. Yep, that looks better right there. So, a good example, I will give you a good example, is that I was never comfortable building or working in Minecraft. You know, and I hear that one a lot, you know. Well, I'm not a very good builder. I'm not a very good builder in Minecraft. You know, I'm not about to make a building episode, a building video or something. But I think that it's just that people are uncomfortable at first. They think that they're going to make a fool of themselves. They think that people are going to think negatively of them or something. I don't really know what all the reasons are. But they don't give it a try because of that. And I think that if more people were willing to take risks and give things that they're uncomfortable doing a try a little bit more, that we'd have a lot more progress in this world, for sure. People would find themselves doing the unimaginable things that they never thought that they would be capable of doing. All because they tried to do something that they weren't very comfortable doing at first. But again, like I said at the very beginning, and I'm going to cap the episode off here basically. I didn't finish all the walls. Did quite a bit though, really. And it's looking pretty good. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. Much better than those vines. Hey! Where's my... I put the bow back. You're lucky. You get to live another day. But anyway, this is looking way better than it did before. And I've barely put a dent into it. So I got to finish yet. Once I finish, it's going to be great. I just love the way that this entrance looks now. The way that this looks here on the docks. Everything just looks so much better with leaves. It's so amazing that it does that. And it almost gives it like this weathered look. Like this is a city that hasn't seen people in ages. And I kind of like that idea. I'd almost be tempted to just put leaves on all the buildings and put cracks and holes and, you know, things in these buildings that make it look old, worn out. But anyway, to round off that that whole conversation is, you know, obviously, like I said at the very beginning, if there's something that being uncomfortable with things is often a warning sign too, that, you know what, I'm just not ready yet. That is something that you really have to ask yourself. Am I ready? You know, you got to find courage. And if you are ready, then you'll know it. If you're not ready, then there will be a lot of doubt. You know, being uncomfortable with, say, I don't know, advancing in your relationship, let's say, could be a very big warning sign that you're not ready. But being uncomfortable doing a job that you think you could manage to do, but just haven't done before, that's a little bit different. Hopefully people will be able to realize that difference for themselves. And like I said, it's something that you just have to kind of ask yourself. Am I uncomfortable because this is a bad idea? And if it's a bad idea, why is it a bad idea? And if you can figure out the reason why, then would it really be so bad if it were to pan out that way anyway? You know, like when I quit my job, I had to ask myself, is this a good idea? And there was a big part of me, and a lot of people out there can relate, where we said, you know, no, this is not a good idea. There's a lot that could go wrong, and you gotta gauge whether you're okay with that. You know, I could have lost my shirt. I could have been basically looking for work again, not sure how to pay the next bill. It's a very scary thought, but it was something that I had to ask myself if I was ready to take on. And I decided that yes, I was. Same thing. Even if we are talking about a relationship thing that you're uncomfortable with, you know, something that you're uncomfortable with. If you were to do that uncomfortable thing, what would it change in your life? And would that be very negative? What would the ramifications be? And are you willing to live with those ramifications if it happens? You know, that's ultimately what you've got to ask yourself about anything you're uncomfortable doing. Is, you know, is the reason I'm uncomfortable a warning sign that this is a bad idea? And if it is a bad idea, if you've decided that it is, maybe, are you willing to accept that burden? So, that's all that I wanted to talk about today. Hopefully it kind of gives you something to think about. I'm not saying that I'm right in this at all. I don't know if I am. It's just kind of what I think. That sometimes you should be very willing to do things that you're uncomfortable doing. Because if you're not uncomfortable doing something, then you're not learning. You're not progressing. I don't know one single thing that I've learned in my life that I wasn't at first uncomfortable doing. Right? When I was learning how to do math, for example, I wasn't comfortable adding numbers up, but you learned that and you became good at it and you became comfortable doing it. That's a very simple idea that I think we'll round off this episode. So thank you again for watching. I love thinking about things like this. Give me your opinions in the comments below. Like this video and do all those other awesome things that people do. And we'll see you next time on TimeShot. Bye-bye.